Hi guys, welcome to another episode of My Two Cents involving the teams that I support. I'm Dino, hope you're good. If you're listening to me on the podcast, listen on the podcast on Podbean. Thanks for listening. If you're watching me on my YouTube channel, how you doing? Um, Again, like I've always said, My Two Cents is basically about me and the teams that I support, whether it's the Falcons or Arsenal. It's always going to be one of those two teams, to be fair. I will briefly bring up what happens with the Hawks. There's nothing going on with the Hawks right now because they didn't make the playoffs. And Atlanta United, yeah, they're doing all right. So I'll get to the MLS at some point in the near future as we run into the summer. But today, I'm going to be talking about again Arsenal Football Club. Hence the reason why I've got this on. Um, Before I go with my Caribbean heritage today, normally I think the last one I wore was my Ian Wright one, and I wore the away one afterwards. But I thought, no, let me go with my Caribbean heritage, even though I'm not Jamaican. But I thought I'd go with the Caribbean heritage today. So basically, I've purposefully left my two cents purely because of Arsenal's fixtures of who they had coming up, because the fixtures are coming thick and fast, going right back to the 6th of April. Got the fixtures in front of me now and the results. So basically, I'm going right back to the 6th of April when we played Brighton to lead up to yesterday in the North London derby. Um, so I'm going to read out the results now in that regard. Brighton nil, Arsenal 3. In the Champions League first leg, Arsenal 2, Bayern Munich 2. Arsenal nil, Aston Villa 2. Second leg of the Champions League, Bayern Munich 1, Arsenal nil. Right back to the Premiership again, Wolves nil, Arsenal 2. Arsenal 5, Chelsea nil. And then yesterday's game was Tottenham 2, Arsenal 3. Now, the reason why again, I mentioned this in my last episode, that the reason why I left it was because, I was just coming back from Liverpool from the Grand National last time, and I was in the minivan with the boys, and, I was just too tired. That's number one. And number two, I wanted to see how Arsenal would respond after those two losses in a row against Villa and Bayern Munich, respectively. Um, First things first, get out of the way. Um, I'll give my flowers to Aston Villa. Um, you know, I'm one of the realest Arsenal fans out there, and I'm not going to be one of these Arsenal fans that come out here and start effing them blind and like what you see like we see in the past on other networks and like what other fans do when their teams lose. I'm not going to mention no names, but I think you guys know who I'm talking about from various teams. Um, but I can recognise when a team plays well and when a team doesn't play well. Arsenal didn't play well that game that day, and Aston Villa they played to their strengths. And like I said, I give my kudos to them for doing what they did. Um, which then leads on to the second leg of the Champions League where we lost 1-0. I mean, if I recall, Germany, prior to Bayern scoring, we were pressing a little bit for that 10 minutes, and then the sucker punch came with that bullet header, which it was a good goal. You can't really deny it. But the real test after those two games was what everyone was saying afterwards. It's Talk Sport and Sky Sports and fans from other teams, groups, and fellow Arsenal fans. All of us, I'm all over the gaff. I've got like off the top of my head, there's like from 4 different WhatsApp groups. Um, Two of them involve all Arsenal fans. The other two are various. And in the various ones, it was like, this is what Arsenal's going to bottle it. And I thought, we're only saying it because of what happened last year. And I thought to myself, let's see the mental strength of what the boys have got. Let's see how Arsenal respond. And, the banana skin for me was the Wolves game, where I already thought that, gosh, we're going to Molineux. It's an away game. It's a few days after. We've just lost to Bayern. We lost to Villa the week before. We're going up to Wolves. It's gonna be it's gonna be cold. It's gonna be a tough atmosphere. The Wolves fans are gonna be getting your face. But we actually were. quite comfortable in the game. We scored in the first few minutes, we scored in the just before half time, and then we scored again come towards the end of the game. So, but beyond that, Wolves didn't really offer too much of a threat. Um, Whereas we were just holding out, just soaking up pressure, and then we got the goal, so we got what we needed. So that was for me. That was that banana skin there was a good result. Those results I'd take on all day. I think they're brilliant. Get more satisfaction out of those games because those are the games that people look at and think, oh, you could lose that. That's one of them games where you can lose 1-0 and um, but the boys responded very, very well in that game against Wolves, which I was very happy with. Trossard and Odegaard were the scorers in that game. Trossard scored in the 45th minute and Martin Odegaard scored 5 minutes into added time. Um, it was a good game. The boys played well. Like I said, they soaked up the pressure from what Wolves gave, and they had. I'm looking at the stats now: 24 shots on goal, 9 on target. Wolves had 5, 3 on target. And, it was one of those games. It's one of those games where you think, oh, like I said, Arsenal could have romped it like how they 4-5-0, they could have lost it 1-0. But I was very happy with the response to that game. That then after that, it was a case of me being on my social platforms and going on various ones where you just see certain fans just like saying, Arsenal this, Arsenal that, they're gonna slip up against us, they're gonna lose. But our next two games after that, um, were two London derbies between Chelsea and Tottenham. Now, to face both of those two teams after each other is as tough as they come, especially when it's the fact that it's London derbies. It's all well and good if you're Manchester United or Man City or Liverpool and you're playing both of them in a row, but when it's London derbies and it's a different level when it comes to it. The Chelsea game, I thought it was either going to be us just beating the crap out of them, or it was going to be a thing where they could just come to us and win 1-0. And I thought, no, I don't think it's going to be that. I think we're more than capable of tearing this team apart. And prior to the game starting, I saw what one Chelsea fan say, and one Chelsea fan said that if Arsenal score early, then it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a really, really, really long and bad day for Chelsea Football Club. And Trossard scored after 4 minutes. It was at that point, I was actually watching this game at work and I missed the first goal. And I thought, damn, who scored? Okay, Trossard scored. Trossard scored again. Purple patch, on form, constantly scoring. Scored in the Wolves game, he scored here again. And, I thought, yeah, he had a good game. He had, it was dominant. It was just dominant. Dominant. The first half came and went, okay. Chelsea had a couple of attempts on goal. They couldn't really take them. They got punished in the second half. 4 goals in the space of 18 minutes. It was just genuine child's play. 2 goals from Ben White and 2 from Kai Havertz. Sorry. It was kind of really the start for Kai to score a goal against Chelsea, and the fact that he scored 2 and he could have probably got a third actually, and he didn't get it. But just brilliant, just a really, really brilliant game. Chelsea would argue that probably their best 3 players weren't playing. Gusto Cole Palmer wasn't playing as well. He was ill, and Thiago Silva in defence, he wasn't playing either. Between the 3 of them, not really. What can you say? But that shouldn't even be an excuse. Had Chelsea fans saying that was their, had one Chelsea fan saying on I think it was AFTV saying that this is the worst Chelsea team in Premier. This is the worst team in Premier League history, and I thought, this is when you just know you can't really speak. This is when I keep saying all the time, you can't speak to certain fans anymore. Like, you're saying that this team is the worst in Premiership history. You yourself are young, so I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, but you need to go back and see the likes of Swindon Town and and Derby back in 2008 when they played in the Premiership, because those teams were bad. If I recall correctly, that Derby team only had one win in the 2007-2008 season. One of the worst teams ever. And Swindon, they conceded 100 goals when they were in the league. So I think I think a lot of these fans from these other social sites, they really, really exaggerate with how their team goes on when they lose. Um, but that's not my business. So, but yeah, that was another. But going back to the game, that was another dominant display from Arsenal. Very much well deserved. Martin Odegaard, some of the passes that he was doing that game was just beyond exquisite. Um, Again, looking at the attempts, looking at the stats, so Arsenal had 27 attempts on goal, 10 on target. Chelsea had 7 with 1 on target. They had more possession of the ball, but they just didn't know what to do with it. And when you have Nicholas Jackson up front, you may just say your goalkeeper's having a quiet game. You know, this guy had like 3-4 attempts. You could have put the ball back and they didn't do it. He is, again, don't want to go on too much about other teams' players. I'll let the fans of them teams talk about them. But let's just say I'm happy that we haven't got a Nicholas Jackson in the Arsenal team. But then again, if he was in the Arsenal team, he probably would have scored a lot more goals. So it is what it is. But again, when you look at the fixtures from what we had after playing Chelsea, it was like a very, very dominant display. Next game would be even more tough, especially when you're playing, where you play, where who you're playing and where you're playing it, and the fact that you have one of the other title contenders right on your back with what's going on. So Arsenal had it all against the wall in this one, going into the game yesterday against Tottenham. The build up to the game was just just a build up from what happened 20 years ago when Arsenal went to the White Hart Lane and they won a title there with a 2-2 draw, and I just remember it being so funny because Tottenham, they thought that they had actually stopped Arsenal winning the league when actual fact all Arsenal had to do was just get a point and they had won it. And I remember watching it and I remember just looking at the fans thinking, why are the Spurs fans, why are they celebrating this? Like, why are they celebrating like they've won something? Like, that's what I remember. I was 22 years old when this game happened. And I just really just remember just looking and thinking, why are they celebrating like they've won the Premiership? So when the final whistle went, all the Arsenal players just started cheering off, and the Tottenham fans looked a bit like weird. What's going on? So no, Arsenal won the league. So we've won the league there twice. We've won the league at White Lane twice, which I think is just brilliant. But going back to it, the build up to it, leading up to the game, and then going into the game, and actually winning the game, and actually in the manner of how we've won it, you know, was just an absolute marvel. It was 3-0 up at half time, and we actually looked kind of comfortable. I mean, there was a couple of controversial things coming up with an offside and with the penalties involved around the game, but I looked at one of them. I thought that's not a penalty, but went to VAR and everything. VAR's cost us. VAR's cost everything. Like I've said before, VAR will cost every team points this season. Every single team will be affected. Every single team will benefit from VAR, and every single team will feel aggrieved by VAR. And if Tottenham feel aggrieved, they feel aggrieved. We feel aggrieved against Villa when we played them at Villa Park. The same way we feel aggrieved against Newcastle. Same thing. Every single team goes through it. The sucker punches that we got this when we went 2-0 up after they won the penalty appeal and they didn't get it. The turning point in the game, Raya I don't know what Raya was doing yesterday, but he gave Tottenham a glimmer of hope, especially when Tottenham got the second goal and the penalty, and it was like, oh gosh, this is going to be a itchy last few minutes in regards to the Premiership title and the title races. I was literally on the edge of my seat watching this game. I was thinking, oh crap, here we go. Got to 87 minutes. Son put the ball in the back of the net for the penalty. And I thought, oh, here we go. So I was literally on the edge of my seat watching this. I was like, shit, oh crap, this is gonna be terrible. It just seat stuff. It just seat stuff. But Arsenal got through it. They got through it. They deserved. They were. I'm gonna say they deserved to win. Tottenham will feel that they deserved a point. But when you come out the way you come out, if you come out too timid and naive, you're not going to really get very far. Um, Even with the stats, Arsenal had 9 attempts on goal, had 3 on target. Tottenham had 2 on target from 15 attempts. They had more possession than us, and they passed the ball a lot more. So we submitted to that. We submitted to that, but when you have a good defense, when you have a good central defensive pairing like Saliba and Gabriel, they've been the best this season. They can soak up anything. So from when you've got a defensive pairing like that, and you've got Ben White and Tomiyasu's work rate at right and left back respectively, you can feel secure and feel trusting in those 4 guys at the back when it comes to playing these type of games. Odegaard again. What can I say about Martin Odegaard? He's an absolute, like I said, exquisite passing. He's an absolute artist on and off the ball. Declan, I really felt like really was happy for Declan when we scored. Was our second goal? Second goal, he took the corner, and I just remember watching. There was a couple of Spurs fans in the corner of the stadium, just giving it to him, just really give it to him. And when we scored from that, he literally straight away turned around and started cheering in front of their faces. And I think one of the guys who was effing and blinding him just must have gone off to get like a half-time drink or something like that. So he gave it back, and the same thing happened as well with Saka as well. Saka took the penalty for the opening goal, the corner for the opening goal, and a couple of fans in Tottenham were saying that he let his country down. I thought, what the fuck is going? What the hell is going on? Like this, you're going to be cheering this guy on in a few weeks, like in a few weeks' time. You're going to literally be cheering for him when he's got an England shirt on. You're saying that he's let his country down. Yeah, he put the corner. He put the corner in, and we went 1-0 up. Again, Havertz again played well. Trossard, he came off a bit. He played well. Our midfield was looking great. The only thing, like I said, the only itchy thing I've got about what happened in the game was Raya. That what he done there just allowed Tottenham to come back in the game and gave him it gave a belief that they could actually come back, because the stadium was quiet and they weren't in it at all in regards to trying to get back into the game. But you learn from your mistakes. So hopefully, fingers crossed, he learns from that, and he redeemed himself well as well. So most goalkeepers and defenders will just crumble after that, but they didn't, and it was another good away win. And yeah, what more can you say? So this is what I wanted to bring up in terms of talking about Arsenal getting through that patch of fixtures in the Champions League and in the Premiership, seeing how they go and seeing how they respond. And here I am talking now on the 29th of April, where Arsenal, after losing to Villa and to Bayern Munich again up to the Champions League, and responding in those 3 games against Wolves, Chelsea and Tottenham, an excellent response. This time last year, we drew games to the point where the current champions came back and took advantage, and they went on to win it. This time, it seems that they learned. And I said this early in the season, Arsenal will be there again, because many people were saying last season was Arsenal's chance to win the league, but here we are again, where they can have an opportunity to win it. I had Chelsea fans saying that was Arsenal's chance. I had Man United fans saying that. I had Spurs fans saying that. I had fans from other teams saying that, oh, that was Arsenal's chance to win the league. They're not going to have another chance like that again, because they all thought that Man City, that Liverpool and Man United and Chelsea fans thought they were going to come back with what they had. But here we are again, similar situation. Only difference is that Liverpool are up there when they weren't there last season. But your Arsenal's still there. Man City is still there. So these two, like I said at the start of the season, and I said again, they're the most consistent teams now. They have been the most consistent teams in the last 2 years, and they're the best two teams in the league, undoubtedly, the best two teams in the league. So if anyone then says that Arsenal bottle it again, I can say, well, last year you said that you bottled it, and we will have a better chance again. Here we are the following season with another chance to win it. Can't really say much. I think, and it comes down to, and I'm gonna bring up my conclusion now in regards to that. And it is solely on, I enjoy watching Arsenal Fan TV and DR Sports and everyone who comes on Expressions and Abby Summers and all the Fuad, all them boys there, all them boys and girls there who will support the teams. I enjoy watching you guys. You guys are brilliant as far as I'm concerned. Because I just like listening to what they have to say, what they say in regards to like other teams when it comes to bands. But I think what happens is, 10 years ago, Arsenal were, we were up there, but we weren't the best. Now I'll hold my hand up to that. Some of the players that we had in the team, we could have had a lot better. Arteta's come in, prior to Arteta coming, every time Arsenal lost a game, he was losing. I remember one time it was Liverpool 4-0 and everybody would always say, oh, whenever Arsenal lost, I can't wait to go and watch AFTV, Arsenal Fan TV, because they want to see what DT would have to say and what Troops would have to say and Claude, rest in peace, what he'd have to say, and Ty, and because everyone would just love to hear what they have to say, especially when it came to them just losing and going on a rant. And that was like going back 7-10 years ago. Arsenal then left. Arteta's, Emery came in, he left. Arteta's come in, and Arteta came in the first 2 years, he steadied the ship. And then he's brought in the players that he wanted to bring in. And now we have a team where it's now challenging for the Premiership title. We have a team which is more than capable of getting to at least the quarterfinal of the Champions League. We're just missing a couple of ingredients. You want to make a really good impression and make a good presentation. You're just missing a couple of pieces of the puzzle to make it complete. And I still feel there's a couple of puzzles still missing. I think the majority of Arsenal fans that they will say to us straight that we need a left back. Some say that we need a striker. Others have said that maybe we need another midfielder. Me personally, I think another left back would be a good addition. Whether we play Jurriën Timber there when he comes back, because he has been making waves. He's got a good goal in one under 21 games actually, so he's yet to come back. Whether we play him is another story. I personally believe we shouldn't play him. If we do play him in the last game of the season against Everton, and come next season he's going to be fully fresh and fully fit with the rest of the team. He can come in, and as we will say, and as Arsene Wenger used to say about an injured player being out for a long time, it's like a new signing. So yeah, I may as well just say that about him. But it'll be good for him to come back. But to have a left back come in, yes, I think we should bring a left back in. Zinchenko isn't really the answer. I think Zinchenko's good when he plays in midfield at times, but left back he gets caught out positional wise, which I think is unfortunate. But still, I will not doubt his work rate. His work rate is second to none. In that regard. In terms of striker, again, I think we need a striker. I think Eddie, I don't think Eddie's the answer that we need. Jesus, we've got Jesus, but we need to bring in. I think we need another striker to come in. in that regard. Going back to what I'm saying though, sorry, fans have gone on and on and on about Arsenal being the banter club, and now we are where we are, and now it's like all of a sudden Arsenal fans are the worst fans in English football, and I will defend. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some Arsenal fans out there here who do go on a bit silly, but I will defend that club, and I will defend a lot of Arsenal fans who I've known for years. So when I hear people say that Arsenal fans this, Arsenal fans that, I'll say, look, there's Arsenal fans I've known for how long, and they've never gone like that. I heard something that Abby Summers say in regards to Arsenal, and I thought, I've never heard Arsenal fans say that, or respond in that way. Like, but I think it's just a case of the fact. Obviously, it's a case of the fact that we're not the same team as what we were 10 years ago with that personnel. We're a different team now with a new manager in there, and it's like people still want to go in the same banting way in regards to in regards to the team. And I think you can't go on the same way how it was when we had the likes of Guendouzi and all that in the team. When we had Guendouzi in the team, that was a complete different Arsenal team compared to what we've got now. You know, that was an age away. That was an age ago when we had the likes of Guendouzi in the team and Bert Leno in goal, and you know, we still had Nacho Monreal and at left back, and it's like no, we haven't got that team anymore. We've stepped away from that. We're nowhere near that now. We've you know all those players are gone. All those players that we had in that team have now gone now. Xhaka was the last one to leave. Rob Holding as well. They were the last two guys to go, and now we've got a completely new team. Which, when you look at name for name and position wise, in a sense, it kind of looks. I'd say identical to Man City's team. I'd say it's close to looking like you have two teams where man for man they are kind of out of balance. Like, I mean, okay, to example, you got Kevin De Bruyne. You got Kevin De Bruyne on one side. You got Martin Odegaard on the other. Swapping both around, who you taking? Sort of thing, you know. I mean, don't get twisted. I love Kevin De Bruyne. I think Kevin De Bruyne is a brilliant player. I think he's one of the best players around the world right now. But Martin Odegaard is, like I've said in the last couple of times, he's an absolute magician. He's an artist on that ball. The whole notion of who's better between Foden and Saka's come up. I asked that question with my cousins. It's come up in other groups. A lot of people, the majority of people have actually said that it's Foden. Again, I will give Foden his flowers. I think he's a brilliant player. That being said, if played correctly, England can give many teams problems in the European Championships, but that's another story which I will gonna bring up in future episodes. But to bring up the conclusion with Arsenal right now, boys, you're doing very well. I'm proud of you regardless. I've been supporting Arsenal for over 30 years now, and it's good to see that they're doing what they're doing, because it just reminds me of things that happened back in the mid-90s as well with the team. So yeah, just keep going. So just keep going, keep doing what you're doing. That's all you can do. That's all we can do. Just to cut in as well. Yesterday, another North London derby win, which is always satisfying. It's always brilliant to beat them boys up in Haringey. 4 miles apart from each other down the old Seven Sisters Road. Always satisfying to beat them. It's always satisfying to beat them. That's why I just had a big smile on my face. When we were 3-0 up, I was like, yeah, but I'm not gonna count my chickens yet, because they can easily come back, and they nearly did. But always brilliant beating them. Always happy when we beat them on North London Derby Day. So very happy with the boys, very happy with that. But going forward now, our next game is on Saturday, on the 4th of May. It's a 12:30 kickoff against Bournemouth. What can I say about Bournemouth right now? Bournemouth are on a bit of a run themselves right now. So this, again, we can't take them lightly. They have been. They've. I think I believe they've won their last two games. They won yesterday themselves against Brighton. They beat Brighton 3-0. So it's not going to be a walk in the park against this team. Um, Memory serves me correct. Last time we played them at the Emirates, we beat them 4-3, and we had to score in stoppage time. Was it a Reece Nelson goal that got us the victory in stoppage time? So make no mistake, they're no slouch. They're gonna be no slouch. They got Dominic Slank has been scoring goals as well, and they're gonna be a tough team to break down. It's gonna be this is the type of game where we will either tear them to shreds or they'll come along, score a goal, and just try and kill the clock. They will make it hard for us. They will slow things down. They will try to stop us from playing. They will try and get us in a counter attack and just try and take us on set pieces. However, we've improved on set piece defending. We have the best defence in the Premiership. We have the best attack in the Premiership. We need to take full advantage of the fact that we're playing early and that Man City will be playing later that day, but in the evening they are playing at home against Wolves. So we do have to make the most of the game. If we can get a goal within the first 15 minutes, then I believe we can go on to win, because then Bournemouth will have to come out if they want the points. However, they know they can't play a tussle game with us, because if they do, then they're gonna get torn apart like how Chelsea did. That being said, I think we will win, but it won't be an easy one. I will go with us winning by 3 goals to 1. For some unknown reason, I think they're going to score, but we'll kill the game off against them. So yeah, that is our next game, and then our last two games after that are against Manchester United at Old Trafford, and then our last game is against Everton at home. So I've said this is going to go to the last game of the season. It's going to go down to the wire. All we can do is just win these games. We have to just make sure we are still ahead of Man City by the time it gets to Everton. So these next two games will be pivotal. So we'll see how we go. So come on, you Gunners, come on, boys. Let's keep it going. So we'll see how things go when I do my next 2 cents. I'll do the next my 2 cents after the Bournemouth game on Saturday, Saturday afternoon. Actually, no, I'm gonna do it after the Man City game. So I'll do it on Saturday night, Saturday evening. So do keep a lookout for the next episode of my 2 cents in that regard. I will be doing a couple of episodes as well, in regards to everything on away days. So yeah, do keep a lookout, guys and girls. And thank you for listening. Thank you to all my fellow Gooners for listening in. Again, if you want to listen to this, I'm on Podbean. You can listen on Podbean right now. Or if you want to see me and listen, then you can watch me on my YouTube channel. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I said on my last episode, I hope you guys have enjoyed everything that I've spoken about in the last year and the last few months on the YouTube channel. So yeah, I want to keep it going. So at some point, I want to see what you guys have to say. I am able to go live now on YouTube, and I do at some point want to just do a couple of episodes of you guys out there. I would like to do a couple of end of season things for different teams. So whether you're an Arsenal, whether you support Arsenal, whether you support Tottenham or West Ham or Liverpool, I do know one of my boys supports Sheffield United. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from you. I want to hear what you think of what your team has done this season. I'd love to hear from you guys. So let me know what you think. Let me know how your team has done, and let me know who your players of the year are, your young players of the year. Let me know, because I'll be doing that at some point as well. So do keep a lookout. But this has been my 2 cents. This has been my 2 cents with Arsenal Football Club, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.